So Trump went to the correspondence dinner, an attempt, so they say, on his life. Now, I'm an astrologer and a tarot reader, your favorite astrologer and tarot reader. And while I put on my makeup, we're going to look at the stars in the sky and see if that's true.
It's not a particularly secure building. I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's got drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years.
So first, let me give you a little bit of astrology education. I actually got this new corrector. So let's try and see how this works. What I look at are these planets. If I want to see if something is an illusion, I look at Neptune. Now we are talking about violence with sharp objects and weapons. We're looking for Aries. Mars is all about the weapons because Mars rules Aries. Now anything in the news, that is Mercury. Neptune, which is the planet of fake, sitting next to Mercury or dealing with Mercury, that will also represent fake news. We could also look for Pluto because Pluto represents obsession of power, something that's very hidden, mysterious. And if that has any dealings or relations with Neptune, that's a key sign too. Now, lastly, we want to look at the placements. If it's in the 3rd house, that's information in the news. If it's in the 9th house, that's broadcasting. That's also the news, but more on a global scale. Anything in that 12th house, that's just like Neptune. It represents secrets, delusions, deception, conspiracy. Also too, we're just going to throw in the 10th house because that's like public image, you know, him on stage as well. It's not Leo energy, like that acting energy, but Leo energy is very acting. Let's look at his chart, shall we? First of all, I see that Neptune is sitting close to Saturn. Remember, Neptune is the big doozy here. Sitting next to Saturn in the sky is in the sign Aries. That has an opposition to his Neptune in the 3rd house. Okay, first of all, Neptune in the 3rd house in his natal chart means that anything dealing with news could be fake news for him, hence why he made the term. But not only could he be saying things are fake news, but he can also be delivering fake news. Again, Neptune is the planet of illusions, deceptions, confusions, the lies. Now, Saturn actually represents the government. It also represents reality. And if Neptune is sitting next to a planet of reality, maybe there is no reality. I want you to understand that these planets in the sky are in the sign Aries, which again represents the pum pum. So the reality of the pum pum could be fake. The violence, the reality of the violence could be fake, especially when it comes to government. Now this is in the 9th house. It's broadcasting. It's giving us these fake illusion truths. What's also interesting is that Mercury is in that house and Mars. Mercury is the planet of news, media, and is broadcasting on a big stage. And Mars is the planet of the weapons. Fake reality of violence in the news, broadcasted. That's what we have already in the sky. We're not even talking about Trump yet. They're all opposing his Neptune in the 3rd house, his natal Neptune in the 3rd house. It's almost like the deception is not really working. Now Libra represents partnership, so I don't know if he has a partner in this and there is a deception here with a partner. We'll have to look into that a little bit later, or maybe you know something because the internet always know more. Than Mercury and Mars in the sky is opposing his Chiron. Chiron is, some people don't know, represents a victim. When you have Chiron opposing the pum pum and the media, it's almost like it's not working. There's oppositions to him being the victim. I kind of gave everything away at the beginning because I told you when Neptune's involved, it's dealing with fakery. But we'll continue if you need more. And we have Neptune involved not just once in the sky, but we have Neptune involved in his chart. Something else that's also very interesting is that day of the correspondent dinner, which, by the way, this was his first time going to the correspondent dinner, which also could represent Aries energy too. The first time is an illusion. Very interesting that we have a Leo moon. Now, Leo energy can represent leadership. Leo energy can represent presidency. She also represents acting. Kind of doesn't get along with Uranus at 29 degrees in Taurus. Like this acting energy, okay, you being on stage or you being a leader. doesn't really go well with surprise or something that's unexpected. Represent two things. This could represent that his safety, there was something unexpected with his safety, and he didn't feel safe because that moon represents safe. So that's one thing it could represent. But because we have to tell the whole story of what's happening in the sky, we can't forget Neptune is heavily involved in the story. He currently has Jupiter in the 12th house. Having Jupiter in the 12th house represents anything that's kind of like broadcast with him while Jupiter is in the 12th house. May be a little deceitful, may be a little fake, because the 12th house has heavy correlations with Neptune. You have Jupiter in his 12th house, which also represents the same thing. So not only do you have it once, but the natal chart is like, his chart is doubling down on this energy. Something else I want to throw out there with that Pluto in Aquarius and that Sun in Taurus. Pluto in Aquarius also represents technology and AI. If you really want to go deep in a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, that AI could represent, you know, trying to have some power through AI, and it didn't quite work. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? That's something you have to research on your own. So that's what we have for the latest update politically with astrology. You guys, I love doing conspiracy theories and astrology. So if you guys have some more questions, hit me up. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. Let me do my hair.